Hello, welcome to my latest Look Ahead weekly video. Now, it's a busy week in Parliament. I shall be here for the whole week and most MPs are now back here physically. On Monday, we dealt with the Fire Safety Bill, which is a piece of legislation to put into law a lot of the recommendations from the Grenfell tragedy. We also had a really interesting debate late last night on development and the impact of development on communities in West Sussex, brought about by my colleague from Adur South Downs, Andrew Griffiths, and there were lots of really important points about if there are any changes to the planning system and talk about using algorithms for housing numbers. We need to make sure that it is sensitive to what capacity that local communities can take, and we know that more than most in Adur and Worthing. And I also made the point that we don't want to lose valuable business space as well to convert into housing, and that's why I'm opposing a planning application for the Lancing Business Park to convert part of the triangle into residential, where that's a really successful business park. It's something like 99% occupied. It sustains well over 3,000 jobs, and we need it to stay as a business park. We've also got this week the extradition provisional arrest bill, which is about powers of arrest post Brexit for dealing with terrorists. We've got an Opposition Day debate brought by the Labour Party on jobs and businesses, and secondly one on what they're terming, and I have to agree, the exams fiasco from this summer. I've also had quite a few people writing to me, which is speculation at the moment, about what's happening with Brexit agreements and things. There's going to be a UK internal markets bill presented later this week about the continuity of trade within the United Kingdom. I don't know what's in that bill yet, so I'm not going to comment on it until we've actually seen it in black and white. And then on Thursday, we've got important debates on the aviation sector and tourism, which have suffered particularly during COVID, as we know. It's actually quite difficult to get to speak in debates these days. You have to put in advance. As a ballot system, only 50 people maximum are allowed in the chamber at any one time. So actually, I haven't come up in any of the ballots for this week's debates, and I can't just turn up and make a contribution as usual. But anyway, there's plenty of other work still to be doing. Last Friday, I was in Broadwater. I was asked to go and meet a group of traders who are up in arms about the cycle lanes, frankly, who isn't, and the taking out of some of the parking. We've got that problem in Shoreham and in Lancing, as I've mentioned before. I've gone back to the County Council to say, look, you really need to be auditing how many people are using a cycle lane. Some of the cyclists say it's actually dangerous in places as well. And do we really need to continue taking out all these parking spaces for social distancing? This Friday, I'm going to be visiting Shoreham Port. There have been concerns recently about what happened in Beirut about the storage of dangerous substances, but I want to go and catch up with what's going on in Shoreham Port, and that's a question I should be asking them as well. I've got a meeting with the Chief Executive of Worthing and Adur Councils, and I'm then catching up with the various businesses in East Worthing in the afternoon. And I'm also speaking at the Rheumatoid Arthritis Awareness Week conference and the applications of mindfulness on dealing with conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, because I chair the Parliamentary Mindfulness Group. I've also spoken, as I said I would, to the Post Office about when we're going to get Southwick Square Post Office up and running. They are having trouble tracking down the postmaster to see whether he actually wants to come back and then open it up or not, and if not, then they need to find an alternative provider. I'll keep people posted on that. I've also had a number of people concerned about difficulties getting testing for a coronavirus. There is a problem at the moment, although there's sufficient capacity nationally. A lot of it's been taken by Scotland when their schools came back, and by some of these hotspot areas which have been subject to restrictions, and that's meant that some of the capacity which we're using in the southeast has been taken away. I think that's not good enough, and MPs and the Local Resilience Forum have written to the government to say we must have our testing capacity locally. So again, we're on the case on that one. And finally, back to normal street surgeries. I shall be at the Shoreham Farmers Market in Tarmount Lane from 10 o'clock with councillors this Saturday, if anyone wants to pop up and have a chat, socially distanced, with or without a mask. See you then.